And then if this works, then we'll just send people here.
Okay.
Hello. All right. So Madelaine and I are sorting this out. And then if this works, then we'll just send people here. So I am now. All right. So Madelaine, I think I may have to shift something on Zoom so that we're not echoing back and forth, since we're kind of in both places.
Okay.
I don't really know exactly how to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to mute YouTube. Hold on one second.
Okay.
There we go. So hopefully this works. All right. Yeah, guys, just hang with us as best you can. I think so. I think some people are with us. Well, we are recording it, and so we'll have multiple options for everyone once we officially fully sort this out. But we're so glad that you're here, if you're here with us. I'm looking to see in the chat. Hello. Let us know if you're here to be able to join. Okay. So it says one is watching now. I'm not sure. I'm not totally sure, but let's hope that's the case.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. In the chat, hopefully people will see. All right. So clearly we still have a little bit more work to do.
Pop back onto Instagram Live, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I think this is good. We'll just stay here. We'll stay here. Yep. We're gonna make this work. I've got the chat open, and we'll see how that plays out, who joins us. If not, we have this recording here for
that's true
to check out.
Yeah.
And it's we're live streaming now, so we can also send people this way. So all right, we're gonna take it from the top.
All right.
And
hi, Amalia.
So we're gonna just pretend like this is the beginning of the live stream. So I am Amalia with KarmicKindness with Madelaine Parker, and we are doing our bi-monthly moon forecast or cosmic chat, sharing about the full moon energy that's coming up on next week in Leo, full moon in Leo. And we also do the new moon forecast also as they come. So you get a little taste of the energy of this particular moon itself. Plus Madelaine, the magician that she is and goddess of the sky, shares her interpretations of the astrological aspects for each sign. So basically you'll get a sense of your sun, your moon, and your rising signs, which is really, really cool, to help you get a taste of, a sense of the energy that will be affecting you for each of these moon cycles. And we're doing also something slightly different, and I know I'm rambling on, Madelaine, I'll give you a second to chime in a sec, is, Madelaine, we were talking just a little bit ago about how she has such a gift for bringing in the astrological aspects, but she's also really great in gaining confirmation through tarot. So I'm going to bring in a little flavor of oracle cards to this particular full moon reading. I'm just going to, the way I do it is I shuffle the cards, and whatever card flies out of the deck is the message that we're getting for this particular cycle. And this month, and I've been using these cards quite a lot lately, and using the Sacred Creators Oracle by Chris Ann. Nice. And that may be coming, I don't know if that's coming through backwards or correctly, but
or to me it does.
Great. It's a beautiful deck. So I'm just gonna tune into this full moon energy that's coming up, and just ask, what do we need to know, or what is a beneficial message that we can take away leading into this full moon? Ooh, I love this. Lead your metamorphosis.
Nice.
So it's a shift, it's a change, it's a transformation in such a beautiful way. And you've got the butterfly imagery there, which is all about transformation. And I kind of like this line, the way she has this line for it's a personal journey, that looks different for everyone. And we all have this path. It's almost like our own personal path that we take to, and the same with the astrology of, for each one of us. Like, you're giving us, Madelaine, the overarching flavor of it, but then there's also so much more for us to intuit as we go on the journey. So it's really, really cool, really interesting in that way. So yes, Madelaine, take it away.
All right. Should I share the screen now?
Sure, if you want, you can share a little bit about the energy that.
Sure. I guess you'll have to enable me. You'll have to enable me.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Okay.
All right. 1 second. Yes, with all of our switcheroos.
I know.
Okay. All right, there you go.
Let's take a look. So I'm going to share this image here of the full moon that's coming up on the 16th. Let me just go ahead and put it in whole sign really quick here. All righty. So this full moon is happening on the 16th, depending on where you are. It's a different time, but for the Pacific coast, I think it's like 5 o'clock. For 4:50, we're going to get exact Leo at 27 degrees and the sun at 27 degrees. So, and this is a full moon of culminations. It's opposing Aquarius. The new moon that happened at the beginning of the month in Aquarius was a wake up of what you needed to shift and change. That's why it was a challenging new moon, because these new beginnings are coming and you got to step your game up. I had to step my game up technologically. I had to upgrade 5 different apps. So the story is going up a level, and we have to raise our abilities to join it. And and Aquarius is the sign of technology. So you may have found a lot of challenges around technologies. Plus we had that Mercury in retrograde. Going back, you have to go back and see what you need to change and upgrade, which I had to do. Now we've got the full moon coming in Leo, which is going to, and Leo is the energy. It's the sun. It's ruled by the sun. So it's a very benefic full moon, because the sun in its own sign, the moon in the sign of the sun is sort of a nice position for the sun to be in. It's in its domicile. So we're seeing a fruition of the results of the struggles that you had at the new moon. And so whatever house, Leo, we're going to go through all the 12 signs. We're going to go through all the 12 houses and show you how each sign will benefit from this full moon. So the full moon isn't a culmination. It is emotional. It's in the sign of Leo. So it's very highly likely romance is a part of this story, because we have Mars and Venus conjuncting at the degrees of, let's take a look here. We've got Mars and Venus conjuncting at 17 degrees on the 16th.
So huge.
Yeah. Mars and Venus are going to be conjunct for all of February and a good chunk of March. And then Venus is going to race on into Aquarius. Mars is going to follow. Mars is going to get dropped behind. And Venus is going to catch up with Jupiter at the end of April, when it's going to be an amazing day, April 30th, which we'll talk about another time. So the energy of Leo, it is self-expression, it's passionate, it's creative, it's unique individual, it's finding your own unique individual way and voice. Aquarius is more about the crowds and the people, and technology and your tribes. So people are going to find their own particular voice, their way to step forward in your own creative way. You're going to see that whatever struggles you had, we're going to be a part of enabling you to do this with more confidence. Leo is very confident, is very proud. You're going to step forward and be more proud of yourselves. You're not going to rip yourselves apart for the failures. You're going to have pride about yourself, and you're going to step forward more. We're all going to feel this confidently, this confidence to sort of step forward and shine in our individual ways. And it's with this Mars and Venus conjunction, we are really looking at union of relationships, a lot of passion involved. The heart, Leo is so much about the heart. We're also going to see people in their heart space helping each other on a collective. We're going to see, let's say, the materializations that this full moon brings is going to be, it's going to happen on a massive individual level that fortifies the people, that fortifies the mass in a way. And that is something that's coming up very strong. You're going to start seeing the Aquarian, which is the people, developing more strength and independence. And part of that is each person in that crowd has to be strong and independent themselves to create a collective independence. And that's what we're moving towards, because we have Pluto going into Aquarius next year, which is the power to the people. So this full moon is going to bear fruit in the ways that's going to empower you to continue in a way that globally supports the collective. So that's, and the other thing I want to talk about too really quickly is that on this full moon, we have this Pluto and Mercury conjunction as well, because we have Mercury, well, actually Mercury's going up ahead, is already in Aquarius. So it's pretty close to Pluto. So we're really going to be coming out of something that hasn't even happened yet. So one of the things about doing a full moon report early is that we haven't seen some of the things that are going to happen, but we do have communicate. Well, a lot of this sort of trucker thing in Canada is kind of that. We're starting to see really clearly the abuses of the system, the abuses of the government towards the people. And there's more information coming out throughout the week that's going to reveal other corruptions or corrupt motives of the Capricorn, which is the government. So no matter what side of the fence you're on, you're going to see things that are revelatory of the dissfunctional, what's dysfunctional about the system. So that's coming up. There's probably going to be a big crash. I'm not the only one talking about that. A lot of unsupportive to the people systems are going to come crumbling down, and the systems that support the people are going to build up. They're going to be built up by the people, because the people are taking their power back from the system, because the system is no longer, according to astrology, needs to reshape to serve the people better. So the people are going to be feeling very empowered by this full moon. They're going to be feeling more abundant. We are going to see more fruition of abundance. We have all the planets stationing direct until the end of April, when Pluto goes retrograde. So we really are looking at positive movement forward in a steady, focused way. Because all the planets are direct, but it's not super fast, but it is fast. That doesn't make sense. Let's put it this way. It's moving faster than we're comfortable with, but we got to take it slow and do it right. So it's kind of like go forward, but concentrate, focus, and get your feet in the right spots. So I don't know if I repeated that, but I said that earlier maybe. But anyway, so we've got these planets in the earth signs. We have Pluto, Mercury, and Aquarius. Mercury and Venus in the earth sign. Venus and Mars in earth signs. Mercury in Aquarius. That's going to speed things up, the Mercury in Aquarius. And the sun is in Aquarius. So there is a certain amount of technological movement, communications that are really more rapidly going. And then Capricorn, with these planets in Capricorn, we're sort of responding in a steady, balanced pace, focused, grounding things. Jupiter in Pisces is very strong in this dynamic. It doesn't really have much aspecting. Other than that, it's just in a strong placement. So if you're ruled by Jupiter, things are going great for you. But Jupiter also represents the lungs. So people's health are going to be stronger. Now we're going to see an end of COVID. I'm not the only one that says that. These are because Jupiter rules the lungs. It's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. As in Vedic, it's moving into Pisces.
So when you said ruled by Jupiter where?
If
If
you're
Jupiter
ascendant,
rules,
yeah, if you have Pisces or Sagittarius in your chart strongly, you're going to feel the benefits of this placement. Jupiter in Pisces, it's more supportive to you. A lot of Pisces, Sagittarius people have had Jupiter in Aquarius and Capricorn, which is more repressed, held back energy for Jupiter. So it hasn't
right.
really been able to function very well for them. So you're going to start seeing movement forward now that Jupiter is going to go into combustion, because Jupiter, the sun is going to go into Pisces in March. So we're going to get a combustion as the sun moves into Pisces. So Jupiter will be a little bit disappearing during that period. But that usually happens after a combustion period. It happens every year, but during a combustion period, when the planet comes out, it has purified and become a more pure version. It's sort of a cleaning out. And so then you're going to get an extra fortified energy for Jupiter after that combustion, which is mid-March. So, questions. Is that clear? The moon opposing the sun, there might be opposition involved. Full moons are always in opposition, so there might be emotional arguments or something comes up. But that's if there's resistance to. There's resistance on some level all the time. So it's up to us as individuals to work with the energies and not resist and try to move along in accordance with. And that's why knowing astrology helps you, because you have a cognizant, you're conscious of what's happening rather than it just happening unconsciously to you. And you're just like, Yeah. So knowing that this full moon is positive, the struggles that you went through at the new moon are build up to help you in this full moon, a culmination of results. And I think for most people, you're going to be very happy with what this full moon, the fruit that this full moon bears.
All right. Well, so let's get in it. Let's just dive in. Let's start with Aries. I'm going to stop sharing so I can share my other image. Okay. So I'm going to go back into this PDF file that I made as I'm getting more sophisticated in my technological abilities. We are going, as time goes on, we're going to have this so nailed.
Yeah.
So nailed. Yeah.
So, okay. So first we're going to start with Aries. And by the way, you do want to look at your sun, your moon, and ascendant first and foremost. But your moon will definitely be impacted. Of course, depending on whether you are ruled by the moon, it might even be stronger. But first, we're going to start with Aries. So Leo covers the 5th house for Aries. That's a new beginning in relationships, friendships, creative projects. Passionate is also the sign. The sun is the sign of Leo. So the 5th house is ruled by the sun for Aries. So this will be a very good full moon for bringing forward some kind of materialization of a creative project, and highly likely with this Venus and Mars conjunction, this is a romantic commission. And remember, the divine relationships in this world are actually designed to commission. You're supposed to have a joint project together. It could be a child or a home, but most divine relationships come together with a commission, a co-purpose. You can see it in synastry charts. That's how I know people are destined to be together, because there's so many commission aspects in their chart. Yeah. So for the sun and Leo, they're most likely going to come in as passionate. It could be very romantic. This is a relationship house, very strong relationship. It could be a revisit of a past relationship. Whoever is your divine mate, your true mate that you are supposed to do a mission with. It's kind of easy, this full moon.
It sounds like it. And I'm listening to you. I'm just, I'm popping over back to where our live stream was originally, just ever so briefly. I'm going to update the message there so that folks can pop over here, because there are people still waiting, but they're not seeing where in the chat where we are. Okay. So I just want to pop that into the description so that they can join us here. So
how do they find you? Do they just go to your channel?
I'm going to put a link in so that they can find us here.
Can you hear me through the live stream? Hello?
I can, so you might want to mute that.
Yeah, I'll take it off.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. So I think I got that. I'm just updating that so people can see it. And because I don't know if they're seeing the chat, and then hopefully that will solve that problem. Yeah, so we'll come back over here. And yeah, so I wanted to be fully present with you and make sure that we were on the same page. Okay. All right. Awesome.
All right.
All right. So keep on rolling.
Taurus. So for Taurus, Leo is in your 4th house, which means a new or a culmination, something about property, real estate, home, creative project with your loved one, passion around home projects, adding a room, becoming, maybe you get pregnant and you have to turn the home office into a nursery, but there'll be a shift in your home and it'll be a fruition. It could be you move in with your divine mate, you move with your loved one, and you then take on a project involving possibly upgrading properties, but it's around home, family, mother. Maybe you could also become a mother. Don't forget Aries, you can get pregnant, by the way, on that 5th house. But first Taurus too, because we're looking at the 4th house. So something accumulates in your family life. You have a new family, a bigger family, something new will be born. It'll be creative, passionate, a lot of love and heart involved. Maybe you align more with your true family, which could involve union with your mate. So I'm just going to keep going, right? So then
yeah. And I want to, after you, the other thing we're doing, just so everyone has a sense, is Madeleine's going to run through these rather quickly, and then we're going to discuss afterwards. So that way, for those who are joining us live and you have to go, at least you get a little snippet, and then we're going to talk a little bit more and then allow for some questions too, at kind of after she runs through all of them. So we're shifting that up a little bit. So yes, go on. I just wanted to update people as to what our game plan was here.
Okay, so for Gemini, you have it in the 3rd house, and that's interesting because Gemini is a very 3rd house energy. It's like communication. You might start a website, you might start a business, and again, we're collabing because we've got Mars and Venus together. And it's possible it's not a romance. I mean, Mars and 7th house Venus can also be legally bonded, contracted relationships. So it can be any, but most likely romance, because Leo is the 5th house, it's romance. So communication, romantic communication coming in, emails, fruition, new projects, creative ideas to do with your divine mate, a creative new business. And this is a really good time for Gemini to start new things because Mercury just went direct, and Mercury's direct for a nice long time. So this is a great time to start businesses, especially for Gemini with this Leo moon, full moon in your 3rd house of communication, entrepreneurship, your own independent project. Also a lot of short distance travel, a sibling, also a neighbor. You could get into a relationship, a passionate relationship with a neighbor. What else? What else could I think about that? Things will be busy for Gemini, very busy. With a full moon in your 3rd house, you're going to be very busy writing, emailing, talking to people, but something's coming in fruition. Is creative and you're inspired, by the way. This is something that's going to go across for all of the signs because Leo is a very passionate energy. It's fired up about its creative endeavors. So now we're going to move to Cancer. Leo happens in your 2nd house. Woo woo. So I'm Cancer rising. Whenever I have a full moon in my 2nd house, I get a shift in my finances or my income or the way I earn money. And it's great because it's growth. Yeah. So for Cancer rising, this is great. Or Cancer moon or Cancer sun, but predominantly Cancer rising, you're going to see a shift in your income ways. You're going to develop a more creative, more passionate, possibly, but also Leo in relationship with somebody, co-projecting, in a way that is really exciting. It's going to be really exciting for you, Cancer, in this 2nd house of financing. So it's like you have Leo over your 2nd house, which means the sun rules your 2nd house. So wherever the sun is going to be very powerful in this for everyone, wherever the sun falls in Leo, by the way. It is, well, that's what we're looking at. I'm sorry, an Aquarius. So for Cancer, this Leo full moon, let's look at where Aquarius is in your 8th house. This is a very 8th, second house thing going on. So there's some sort of fruition financially that's going to relieve a debt or being dependent on outside resources, but also could clear a debt. And also Leo is independent. Leo is self-sufficient. It's its own resources in a way. So also the second house is your own resources. So something that involves your own Cancer, their own resources, that's creative and inspiring. And by the way, Cancer with Leo over your second house, you're always supposed to be inspired about how you make money. And wherever your sun falls in your chart is going to also be an indicator of how you're supposed to make money, because Leo is the sun. So creative, new way of earning money that is inspiring, that's creative and passionate, and involving, most likely, because the second house in Vedic is a relationship house. It's Taurus, so it's Venus. So it's a good chance a relationship could either come back from the past or new. But it will be supportive of this venture. You will be co-missioning with this person. Leo, it's in your 1st house. This is great for Leo in their 1st house. They're going to have Aquarius is in their 7th house. The sun is in their 7th house. So some kind of a relationship will definitely come into, all that new moon in Aquarius might have brought up problems in a relationship, or ended a relationship, but you haven't, or shifted the dynamics in your relationship. And now you're going to see a fruition of the results of the shift that you made, the dynamic that you shifted in that relationship, or in relationships in general. You would have been made aware of an issue that you have, a repeat issue, and you will have shifted it, which opens the relationship up and opens you up to a more creative way of being in relationships, more liberated, because Aquarius is a liberating energy. So you're going to be more free, more letting go, and more creatively, and more creatively in relationships that you can creatively evolve with in some creative aspect. So with Virgo, Leo is in your 12th house. So you will be going a little more introspective to become connected to that which is your creative calling, which is your true passion. And you may retreat with somebody. You may go on a little bit of a honeymoon, a little bit of a romantic honeymoon with somebody, a little getaway in nature so you can connect. Something will come to fruition for you in relationships and in the 12th house, which would be out away from the ordinary, from the mainstream. So you're going to have a little period of introspection while it's a good chance you're already starting to sort of ignite this relationship because you have Capricorn in your 5th house, but it will possibly be a romantic honeymoon getaway. Something like that, a little bit of a vacation with your mate, or you are going inward to become very much more connected to what you really want in a relationship. And then that materializes instantly for you because you've made that location. Once you make that clarity, it can happen fast. So now we're going to go to Libra. Leo for Libra is in your 11th house. So new friends tribe. And also this is abundance. So we're going to get some kind of a fruition of financial advancement and the 11th house is material gains. It's also it's also recognition. You could become more well-known. Something creative is going to happen to you on the social media platform. Most likely you could change the way that you've been doing in a way that's much more passionate, more creative, more high vibrational, and more proud and more confident. So a lot of Libras will probably get on into their social media pages much more confident as a self-expression, feeling a certain amount of confidence and possibly shifting tribes or friends groups or materializing a new friends group that you can be more abundant through. And it will involve your divine mate. So a creative project involving your divine mate that is accelerated through social media. Scorpio, we have this Leo new moon. Isn't this chart fantastic?
It is. It really is. And I'm digging your quick summarization of this, and now there are more people joining us. Thank you guys so much for finding us. Please do comment. I'm hoping that the chat is open. I don't like using the word should, but it should be. I just don't know. I'm looking here to see if you guys are saying anything. I don't see any comments. So if you are commenting or asking questions and we don't see it, I don't know why. We'll have to sort that out too. So like send us a message on DM us on Instagram perhaps, and then we can see what's what. Or if you know us personally, shoot us a text so that we can figure that out, because we are determined to sort this
out. We are.
Yes, we are going to nail this. And yeah, so, and for those just joining us, Madelaine is running through all of the signs quickly. She's getting ready to talk about Scorpio, and then at the end we're going to have some conversation around it. And if you have any questions, that's the time to talk to us in the chat, and then we'll answer that and have a little bit more of a dialogue. And she's also going to share a bit, she's already shared a bit more about the Venus Mars conjunction, but there's likely more that we can unravel there. All right, here we go. Back to Scorpio.
All right, so Scorpio in Leo is in your 10th house. So that is career. That's interesting. In fact, I know a Scorpio who is changing their career. And it's interesting because if you have Leo over your 10th house, you really are, your career is really supposed to be very creative. There's a very creative self-expression element to your career that needs to be there. So something is going to become very more creative about, aren't you Scorpio?
I am Scorpio rising and Leo sun.
So interesting, full moon.
Yeah.
So you might, just like you were wanting to add more of the oracle cards, you're becoming more creative about your career. You're entering a more creative element to it all. And I have a friend who's Scorpio, and she's just gotten really passionate about her art all of a sudden. It's like she's gone nuts. She's going like crazy doing all this artwork. And I'm like, whoa, I love it too. So for Scorpio, there's a very strong, and Scorpio have Capricorn over their 5th house. Oh no, they don't. Sorry, I'm thinking of Virgo. I'm sorry. Scorpio have Capricorn over their 3rd house. So a small business involving a relationship too. That's where does Aquarius hit for Scorpio? In your 4th house. So you could move again, we've talked about that, but we really are looking at this joint mission because it's in your 3rd house. So communications, email, writing projects, small businesses activated by a very creative career move that you add more creativity to your career, like what you're doing, or you shift your career and you see an opportunity, because the full moon will bring an opportunity that you can take your career to a creative angle, a new creative project that's passionate, that's exciting. You're going to be flying off your seat with excitement. Your work is going to be
I love that. Flying off your seat with excitement.
Boom. It's like, come back, Amalia. She's going to be like fired up about career. It's going to inspire you. Your career is going to get a shot of inspirational adrenaline that inspires you to be creative, but you're also going to be confident because the Leo is so confident. So there's going to be a new confidence amongst everybody. So hold on to your seats, Amalia. And I'm kidding.
Yes. Actually, I can't wait to share more about this when we wrap up.
Great.
Okay.
Saggies have Leo over their 9th house. So interesting for me. I'm Saggy Sun. I'm looking at teaching and doing more workshops out in the world more and online. So I'm really having to do that. But again, it involves possibly a union with somebody, because Leo is creative expression, also travel. Saggies this might be an opportunity to travel, which I would love. With COVID on its way out now, we are opening up to traveling. The mandates are relaxed, and traveling is opening up pretty much for everybody with Jupiter and Pisces, by the way. That's another reason. But Sagittarius for Leo in your 9th house, learning, education. You could get a publishing offer, an opportunity will come to you. You could be asked to teach somewhere. And Leo is creative self-expression. You're going to have the confidence to do it. You're already possibly involved in something already in the ninth house. And that's me teaching over live internet, which is just overwhelmingly confusing sometimes. You know, and I could find assistance and help, and an opportunity comes in where I can just be the creative voice and not have to worry so much about the technological side of it all. So that's a possibility, because remember, we're looking at partnerships here with this Mars and Venus thing. So assistance is on the way. So yay. So then for Capricorn, we have Leo over the 8th house and Aquarius. So for Capricorn, Leo is in the 8th house and Aquarius is in your 2nd house. So you're going to be possibly getting support, financial support from outside sources, or you could start a very passionate sexual relationship. That's really fantastic.
Those are not necessarily tied together.
I know, but this will be, because it's in Leo. So Leo is the sun, which is good, healthy love. You know, not the obsessive kind, the positive divine love, the sun love. So
or the getting paid for the sexual relationship kind.
Oh, right. Better. Yeah, exactly. This is coming from the heart because this is Leo. And also you might get financial support through that person, or there's some sort of funding, because the 8th house is outside resources, but the sun is in your house inside of Aquarius. It's possible you have some sort of technological, something comes through from outside sources that enables you to take finances forward online, and technologies open up so that you can make creative, you can make money online creatively through the tribe, through internet, through technologies will open up. So an opportunity of outside finances or support from, could be money from your divine mate comes in and supports some sort of 2nd house with Aquarius, which is technologies, the social media platform. You might get funding to advance a career shift that's more online, you know, that enables you to start a financial acquiring income financially through internet. So for Aquarius, Leo is in your 7th house. A relationship coming in that a close personal contracting style relationship. It could be, if you're an Aquarius and you're in a lawsuit, you find the perfect lawyer, because that's a contracted relationship, and Libra is lawyer. Or you could be, and remember, this is creative too. So a creative project opens up between you and somebody that you have a contract with, a creative project, and that you are ready to really take it online and you're really feeling more confident about it. And then last but not least, we have Pisces. We have Pisces with Capricorn over your 11th house. So a relationship from social media or a friends group or tribes coming in, causing you to that changes your day-to-day routine and work. And it could change your work. You become more creative. You liberate yourself to a more creative, because Capricorn over your 11th house, you're probably trying to control situations. So you really are, because of wherever anyone's had Capricorn, we've been forced to let go and stop trying to control the situation. So Pisces have really let go of trying to control. So the right tribe people are coming in, not trying to control friendship groups and all that. So they're opening up to the right friends group that opens up a creative project. And in your 6th house, that changes your day-to-day routine of life. Now, also there could be a health solution that comes in, but because the 6th house is diseases, and we're seeing a fruition and a culmination. But most people with Leo over their 6th house are not in the health field. It's more of a creative day-to-day. They're artists, they're musicians, they're so especially Pisces. So there's some sort of creative project that's coming in, that's fruition, that shifts and changes your day-to-day routine. And actually, it's very possible for your life you become more involved in this project to the point that because Leo over your 6th house, just like who else had Leo over their 10th? You.
Yes.
You're looking at a creative project, and if you're Pisces, you really are supposed to be creative. If you have Leo over your 6th house, creativity is a huge part. They're usually artists and musicians. So there's your 12 signs.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I love how you use the blank multiplication table for that, to just fill that in. Maybe next time, I think the upgrade on that will be to put some title there.
Yes, I'd really like the logos of the signs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's but next that many creative things for you. I mean, because you've got well, I mean, this whole thing is creative, so it doesn't even matter
That's
exactly
true.
where it falls. So so much goodness there. I mean, just so many things. Yeah.
A lot of optimism here. People feeling better, people feeling more empowered, people feeling more confident. Things have been really shaky and feeling unstable financially. Even the country may go through a financial change. Some people are predicting some sort of crisis is possible, because some really sophisticated astrologists are saying that. I feel like we're going to be okay. I think the people are really strong, and Aquarius, these planets in Aquarius, I think we're gonna pull through collectively as a collective, because collectively we all are waking up to supporting more of each other and having more compassion. Leo's all about having more heart and compassion towards each other. And so we're going to be more supportive to each other. We're all of our heart spaces. Leo's is a big heart opening for everybody, to love, to your divine mate, to your fellow man, to not being critical. So we feel like we can do our creative, it's safe to be creative, all of that.
So I want to just kind of jump back a little bit into the signs, and hopefully those who are watching on YouTube, you can pop any comments or questions into the chat. And so it's so interesting. I could not wait for the live today to share this little tidbit. So, okay, so as most everyone knows, Madelaine and I've been talking, and I personally have been talking about this whole move thing. What's going on? In our last live, the new moon, this came up again. It's still in the astrology for me.
Yep.
Literally, it was. I'm in Arizona right now, and it was a very long, protracted travel process, and so I'm a little messed up time wise and all that, because I just arrived here in the wee hours of the morning.
Oh, wow.
So
for something hasn't slept. I mean, you look good anyway, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But so I don't know if I got this message last night or if it was this morning or what, because it's all a little hazy, but I received a message from one of my neighbors who said, hey, I have a realtor friend who is looking to buy in our building, and they would like to, they're not looking to move right this minute. It's in a few months. And the realtor reached out to me, which is so on point with what we're talking about, because this minute my new home has not revealed itself to me. And I've got a number of different things going on. So moving this minute would be challenging. I mean, obviously I'd make it work if everything was worked out right or whatever. But I just thought, wow, right. I literally got the text message about 45 minutes before.
No way.
Yes. So I thought, I can't wait to share this with everyone. And then, you were talking about, let me go back to my notes here. So, Leo, I'm a Leo sun, a Taurus moon, a Scorpio rising. And so I'm literally shifting myself, shifting my business. Leo, like you already mentioned, for me personally, 10th house, Leo is in the 10th house. I've got, and then Scorpio for this particular full moon, 10th house, career. So there's a lot of career shifts, personal shifts. And then even with Taurus, relationships. So there's been that relationship connection between each one of these things. And then looking at Misha's astrology, it's so funny because he and I are actually doing a collaboration next week, Valentine's Day week, doing a giveaway. So we're collaborating.
That's gonna be great.
I'm really excited about it because I'm going to be giving away a piece of jewelry because before I came into this intuitive coaching place, I created fair trade energetic wearables. So
Ooh,
basically
I like that.
bracelets made out of fair trade
You may
semi-precious
go
stones.
end up finding yourself going back to that, because that's going to get, as more and more people wake up to astrology, jewelry that's made and created under certain transits can help you through a lot of negative transits that you like. If you have a long-term Saturn square Pluto in your chart, and there's certain jewels you can wear with crystals that can really offset this negative shadow aspects of it, this is going to be big, because
Ooh.
a lot of jewelers are making it under a certain astrological transit that then makes that piece of jewelry able to shift the energies. It's kind of big. My astrology teacher wears a ring made by a jeweler like that.
That is very interesting.
Yes.
I don't know that I would necessarily go into that for like all people, but my current clients, I would totally consider creating pieces for them based on kind of where they are and what's going on. So thank you for that inspiration. But so it's basically, I'm giving, it's a giveaway for a really pretty necklace that has love. It's sterling silver. It has love and this pretty script. Misha's giving away a 30-minute photo shoot. So it's either you and your love, or just you, because you love you, either way. And then I'm also giving away a 30-minute session, free 30-minute session. So there's some guidelines as always with this sort of thing, but we're going to be posting that on Monday. So that's another really interesting thing when it comes to what you're talking about with collaboration with a partner, collaboration with someone that you are in a relationship with. Being able to take it to the next level in some way, support each other, and it just feels really good. Next week being Valentine's Day on Monday, and then it's Random Acts of Kindness week. So Kindness Day is on Thursday, the day after the full moon. So of course I'm, karmic kindness. I'm all about the aspect, the energy, the feeling of kindness. So I'm fingers crossed this weekend, I'm going to do my best to record a little bit of a different podcast, but a podcast around kindness and how the name Karmic Kindness came to be for my business and why it's so important to me, and just sharing a little bit more about that.
Very Leo, that compassionate heart energy. It's sort of interesting this is the week of, what did you say, giving away, or week of?
It's the Random Acts of Kindness.
Oh, Random Acts of Kindness week, which is great because Leo is all about that. It's the heart. So this is beautiful. Good timing for that.
It is. It's really, it's super fun. So I just wanted to share that with you and with everyone as kind of an understanding around how these astrological energies really have an impact and an influence in your life. And when you know a little bit more of the astrology, it allows you to understand better what's happening, and it gives you a place of, because first, if I wasn't looking to move, or I wasn't tuned into that energy, this text message is kind of like a shrug, like whatever, fine. But because I know what's been culminating and what's been happening, I recognize the significance of it timing wise. It's not just some passing thing.
That's
There's
true.
something more to it. And all of the things that led up to this moment, even though the other opportunities didn't lead to the sale of the condo, probably because the timing wasn't quite right.
That's right. Yeah. Because what's happening is you're being, with Venus and Mars in Capricorn, you're lining up with the right, those other things didn't work out. They were blocked on purpose because there's a true destiny place for you to move. That's already set. It's already there. And it wasn't, like you say, the timing wasn't there. Wasn't right, because it's supposed to happen now. And until then, it was supposed to be blocked, because this is the one. And it happens with relationships, and it happens with your work.
Totally. Yeah. And I think when it's blocked, this is the other point I wanted to make with when you're blocked, it doesn't mean necessarily it's the wrong thing to be reaching for. It just may be that you needed to learn a little bit more, or there's some aspect of timing where things weren't lined up quite right. Because here's the thing, in that time period, I went and I looked at a few houses, and I found one that I loved. And then I found another one that I loved, not quite the right locations, not quite the right pricing. They weren't quite right, but it helped me really hone in on exactly what I want. And I think that's so important, the information that comes through for you.
Yes. Yes. That's amazing. Yeah. So that's the kind of opportunities that a full moon brings. It brings, even though it seems like the opportunity came out of the blue, it has a past. You planted that seed a while ago, who knows when that connection happened, but the sun is like the gods, in the ancients believed the sun was the god. So it's like this Leo full moon is the gods coming in and saying, now you may have this.
Yeah. No, so
you've done the work,
it's so interesting too. I'm sitting here in my mom's house, and I'm sitting in what was her and my dad's like office here, and right above me are pictures of my mom and dad and my grandmother and my mom, like from years ago. And I just feel also right now there's so much ancestral energy that is in the works, that is surrounding people.
It's interesting too, because don't you have something in the fourth house? Because the fourth house is home and mother. So there's
Taurus. Yeah, Taurus.
Yes. So you're interesting, huh? You're like at home around your mother, because that's very fourth house. You were, it's interesting that.
And yes, for me personally, for sure, but I'm noticing when I'm engaging with people and clients that there are these deep ancestral wounds that are coming to the surface. And I think they have been making their way through since probably around eclipse time, some things that were bubbling up and really emerging for us to look at. And I would say this full moon may shed some light on places, but it's going to feel healing. It's almost like it will feel better in a way.
Yeah, it's going to be a relief. It's going to be a relief and a breakthrough, and thank God.
Yeah. Yeah.
And luckily it's halfway through the month, so the rest of the month will be in the abundant half of this, transit, because the opportunities are going to show up in this week, and then the rest of the month it's sort of like the sort of gathering it all, or it's going to be stabilizing. So the rest of the month will feel stable and more.
Yeah, that feels great.
Yeah. So the next 3 months are going to be okay. There's nothing really strong or scary. Plus, we've got Jupiter sextiling Uranus this month too. And when Jupiter sextiles Uranus, it's pleasant surprises that solve problems, that get you through things. It's a flow. Sextiles are Venus energy. So there's a flow, a supportive flow going on. I forgot when I was saying there's nothing going on with Jupiter. I take that back. There is. I forgot about the sextile. Oops. There's a sextile to Uranus, which is really pleasant and helpful and supportive. That's happening at the same time. Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, which is finances and money. We have the North Node in Taurus. So we're going to be feeling more financially stable. Things are going to be moving along better. It's better. How much more simple. So the relief is like there, it's ahead, which is great, because right now people are still sort of feeling the bumpiness of the new moon. So we're going to ride this out. And Venus has gone out of Cazimi. Venus is in Aquarius and strong. And I'm sorry, Mercury is out of, it was invisible for a while, and it's opened up as the morning star now. And it's in Aquarius, which is a good energy for Mercury. It's a lot of ideas, a lot of thinking, a lot of communications, plus it's technology. So you're going to get a lot of support from Mercury right now in the sign of Aquarius. Your technological things are going to go better. So we will learn this lesson.
Yes, I was just going to say
this. Yeah.
I was just going to say, okay, well, we're going to get some support from Mercury on this.
Yes.
So is there anything else that you wanted to say about the Venus-Mars conjunction, or do you feel like you covered that?
Just so everyone knows, it's happening at about, on that day, it's happening at 17 degrees. It's hitting my Mercury. My Mercury is at 18 degrees Capricorn. So this Venus and Mars are going to conjunct right on my Mercury in my 7th house. So something's going to happen to me.
Well, hopefully that flows into tech support.
I hope so. Plus I've got Pluto conjuncting my Venus and Mercury was conjuncting Pluto. Well, actually, it will be this week. It's coming into an exact conjunction this week. So the rest of the week will be communication information coming out that is very revelatory, that is secrets coming out, you know, but again, financial transition. It's a death and rebirth with that Pluto Mercury conjunction. So it will cause a death and rebirth of some kind of a situation, some kind of communication. And that's happening in the grand, you know, with this whole truckers in Canada and around the world, people not complying anymore or revolting against the mandates. So you're seeing a lot of that happening because of the truths that are coming out that are not necessarily pleasant, but they are firing people up to be more self-sovereign, more independent, and less intimidated and taking matters into our own hands. That's very Aquarian. Developing our societies and our communities with more passion and caring more about our communities. So we're evolving to something better. We really are. And we're going to see some of that in this new moon, in this full moon.
This full moon. Oh, yeah. Just feels good.
Hallelujah.
Feels really good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for those who were able to join us live. Thank you for your patience. We will be posting this around so that people can find it, and yeah, we're gonna sort it.
See you with the next new moon. What is the next new moon? I'll tell you what it is right now. Did I write it down in my calendar? I think this new moon is in Pisces, 12 degrees Pisces. So that's going to be interesting, and that's happening on Wednesday, the 2nd of March.
The 2nd, yeah.
Looks like a new moon in Pisces. So we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks with the new moon in Pisces report.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Really, really great. So thank you, Madelaine. Why don't you remind everyone how they can find you online?
Yes. My Instagram is Madelaine Parker Insta. I have a YouTube channel, Madelaine Parker. You can email me, madelaineparker111@gmail.com. I do sessions. I pull your chart and I can look at everything that's going on for you. Plus, I'm also very much a sort of a spiritual therapist, and we'll help you through anything that is dropping your vibrations, basically.
Yeah.
So
Madelaine's great. Yeah, Madelaine is great. Like it's always feel good.
Yeah, I'll help you feel better.
Yeah,
thanks for saying that, but that's my job, is to help you feel better. And really with the truth, I'm not giving you lies. The truth is the truth. That is good. It is good to know the truth, and that you are growing and things are getting better. It just feels like it's not.
Exactly. And then Amalia, you can find me, Amalia Natalio, at Karmic, KarmicKindness, KINDNSS. It's on the bottom here on the screen. And so, for me, I touch in on astrology. I use that as a tool, but not to the depth and level that Madelaine does. So it's a little bit different for me. But I use that as just like one little piece of the puzzle, pulling in a number of different spiritual sciences into the mix. Soul contract, human design, gene keys, all sorts of different things. Intuitive guidance comes through. I use oracle cards, tarot cards. Madelaine does the tarot too. That's really her jam. Again, not as good as she is on that, but use it as a tool. And then I'm also a yin yoga teacher and a hypnotherapist. So, people come to me for all sorts of different things, relationship issues. We can look at relationship dynamics, things like that. And, but then just kind of tuning back into yourself, recognizing the karmic patterns that show up, and then accessing your superpowers in order to transform some of these patterns and shift things in a way that's really, really beneficial for you. So, all levels and degrees of that. It's just, it's really, it's so cool. And I know Madelaine feels the same way when it comes to her work. It's just awesome.
Well, it's kind of what I do for me on a day-to-day basis. And I really enjoyed my session with you doing what you do. So I highly recommend.
Thank you.
For your sessions as well. So, and you're going to get more, your astrology is only going to grow. I actually really believe I can teach anyone. Well, you're learning on your own. You can learn on your own, but astrology, understanding your chart in astrology is not as hard as people think. It seems overwhelming, but I really believe the more you know about astrology, the better. You're going to be more empowered. That's what it's for.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Your knowledge is growing for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think these conversations are helpful, not just for me, but for folks listening too. It's, the way you present it is easy, and I think the more you're doing it, the more you're honing that skill, and it just, you're going to be getting better and better and better at that, and teaching. So all kinds of good stuff. So again, thank you, Madelaine, so much for being here.
Amalia,
thank you everyone, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks again, trying, and it's